Hello, everybody. Today we are going to make what's called a corner to corner, and that is C2C for short for anybody that's seen that. This is something that I created. It was the second, no, sorry, third blanket I ever made, and it's a stitch slash pattern that I've just kind of fallen in love with. So I don't want to make this too long, so let's go ahead and just get into it. So the first thing you're going to do, obviously, is create your slip stitch, and then you're going to chain six. So one, two, three, if this yarn cooperates, four, five, and six. There we go. Get this yarn pulled out a bit. It's a brand new skein, so it's really stuck in there. All right. So now that you have your chain six, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to double crochet, which means you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to count down from your hook. This does not count as a chain. This one does. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to double crochet into your fourth chain from the hook. And of course, my dog chooses now to play ball in the house. So double crochet, and then you're going to double crochet into that fifth chain or the second one from the knot, and then again into that last chain that you created, or the first one that you created technically. Can you take that somewhere else? Dang dog. All right. So now you have created your first little corner to corner block, as I call them, or little boxes. They're little blocks. You will have a three chain, little thing over here on the side, just a little loop, and then you'll have three double crochet, and each little box will look like this throughout the entire thing. So then the next thing is increasing. So we're going to increase on every side, on both sides, I'm sorry, on both sides until we get it as big as we want. So in order to do that, increasing in a corner to corner means chaining six and then doing three double crochets. So you're going to do three double crochets, one, and it'll be into your last three chains closest to that little box that you made before. There's the second one, and then there is the third one. So now you have something that looks like this. And actually, you need to turn it so that it looks like this, because now what you're going to do is you're going to slip stitch into that chain three. Remember that little loop that chain created before? You want to slip stitch into that. You're going to slip stitch into this. There's my slip stitch. Now you're going to chain three. 1, 2, 3. And then once again, three double crochet. So 1 and 2. I can get this to work. And 3. So now you will have something that looks like this. It almost kind of looks like a heart when you turn it on its end like that. But essentially it will look like this. So we'll do one more row so that you can see the increase, how the increase is going to work. And then I will show you how to keep it the same. So you'll only be increasing on one side, because then you'll keep one side the same, and then one side will be increased so that you can get the length that you want. So what you do is you increase on both sides until you reach the width that you want. Then you stop increasing on one side and you increase only on the other. So that way then you can work on your length. I will link a my blog to this video, because I'd like to have there's going to be written instructions in there as well. And then I will also link a on my blog, I will put in a link to the very first corner to corner pattern that I used to create my first blanket. And that may be, a little bit better for you to see. So we've now once again created your three chains and then the three double crochets. And then I don't ever bother trying to turn my work until after I do this first one. And then I turn the rest of it. And honestly, you can't even tell once you do it, back here in the other side. You can't tell that it's been turned. So I'll turn it now. And then once again, you're going to slip stitch into that chain 3 that's here in the center. And then chain 3, 2, 3. And then we're going to double crochet 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. This skein is so tight. I can't get the yarn to come out. So now you have something that looks like this. And then once again, you slip stitch into that chain 3 loop over here. And then you chain 3. And then you double crochet 3 times. I'm hoping to get a better camera soon. Not that this one is terrible, just that it's constantly moves the focus in and out as I'm moving, which can be a bit frustrating. So we have, this was the first one we did, and then our second one, and then our third row. So every time you want to keep making this bigger, you're going to keep starting your row off with a chain 6. Now, in order to start decreasing, or to even just to increase only on one side, to do that, what you would do is you would turn your work around and you would slip stitch through the tops of the stitches like such, and then into that chain 3 here, so that way now you've created another corner here. Move my finger out of the way. And then, like before, in the middle, we would just chain 3, and then we would do our 3 double crochets. So you're going to do the same thing. Whoops, I caught a piece of that yarn from the corner. Sorry, I think I got out of the camera. This yarn skein is a nightmare over here. Now I'm having issues. Okay, so in order to make it, I'm going to pull this out just a bit because it keeps getting stuck. I'm probably going to end up with yarn vomit. Or half the inside of the skein just decides to throw up all over the place. Okay, so once you get to this last part, it's going to be the exact same. It's not until you start the new row that you're going to just do the increase on one side. So like we closed up this side over here, so we won't be increasing over here. So we'll just make this side longer now. And you can do it on either side. It doesn't matter. You can do it in the beginning or at the end. Either way, it's totally up to you. It's just all in where you decide, you want it to be. So there is 1, 2, and 3. And if you see, this stitch is really cool because it gives it like this really neat textured look, which is kind of nice. And that's on both sides. So now once you reach this side, because we want to increase only on one side to make it longer, you're going to do your 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 chains on this side, and then it's the same thing. 1, 2, 3 from the bottom is where you're going to start your first double crochet. Did I get in that whole thing? Yeah, I guess I did. So 1 and 2 and 3. So there's the third one. This yarn is just in the way. And then once again, you're going to turn it, slip stitch into the top of this chain 3 loop, and then you're going to do it all the same thing that you've been doing all the way across again. So And then when you get to the end, it'll be ending it just like we did on the last row when we began, where you're just going to slip stitch into the chain 3 loop. And then once you slip stitch into that, then you're going to, so here's the chain 3 loop here. Now that we've finished this, you're going to slip stitch into this chain 3 loop at the top. And then you slip stitch into each stitch across the ones that we just created. You just want to slip stitch into them to get back to this chain 3 loop that we created over here. Oops, I almost did a single. All right, so now that we're back into the chain 3, oh my goodness. Now that we're back into this chain 3 loop, you're going to do what you did before. 2, 3. You're just going to chain 3. You don't want to chain 6 because then you'll end up with this weird little gap here, and you'll have one sticking way out over here, and it'll just look super silly. And then you go, what in the world did I do? All right, so there's 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to decrease. And the decrease is where you're going to do the exact same thing on both sides, where we're going to bring it back down into to where we're just creating that last. Let me see if I can turn this just a bit. I have more room. There we go. So the decrease is going to make it to where we're down to just making this small rectangle. So slip stitch into the chain 3 loop at the top, and then it's the same as what we were doing over here. Over here, we were slip stitching into the top of each stitch. You're going to do the same thing up here. You're going to slip stitch into the top of this stitch here, the top of this stitch here, this one as well. Because remember, we made 3, so you should have 3 slip stitches, and then one more slip stitch into this chain 3 here. And then you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to do your 3 double crochet. Now, because this one will finish it up, you're going to slip stitch into this chain 3 loop up here. And then because we've finished it, we would fasten off. And in order to fasten off, all I do is I just make a chain. I just chain one and then pull it really tight. And then I would cut my yarn somewhere here and just pull it out and fasten it off. But because it's a brand new skein, I'm not going to do that. So there you go. We have a cute little rectangle of corner to corner. Now you can do this in any color, any stitch, or I can't say any stitch. Let me take that back. Any color and any gauge. Essentially, I just used an eye hook because it's a worsted weight yarn, but you can do this in any yarn. I've done it with baby yarn and other things as well, but it turns out really cool looking. Like it almost has like little pockets in it, you know, where it kind of sticks out, you know. But it's very cool. I like it. It's one of my favorites. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Give me a follow, subscribe, whatever. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And also, let me know, you know, if there's anything that you've heard about that you'd like to learn or something that you're not quite sure about. I'd love to help people, you know, create new things, new items with new stitches that they're not quite sure of. So, all right, guys, y'all have a good day, and thanks.